The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future. A big four-game set at Wrigley is the first highlight of this Father's Day weekend, 1982, and the Montreal Expos are on a serious roll. On Friday, Andre Dawson hit a two-run homer in the first to make it 2-0 Montreal. Then Gary Carter hit his 10th of the year to make it 3-0 in the first. The Cubs, who lost the opening of this four-game set on Thursday, got one back in the second. A Leon Durham homer off of Steve Rogers made it 3-1. And then the Expos poured it on. Tim Raines with a two-run triple in the fourth to make it 5-1. Al Oliver made it 7-1 on a solo shot in the seventh. And then Timmy Raines with a grounder to close out the score in the eighth, 8-1. Steve Rogers goes to 12-1 on the year. He is destined to start the All-Star game in Montreal. Dan Chancellor with, get this, a 12-out save. The Cubs are starting to fade. Montreal is 40-20. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball. As I lose the mouse. Primetime replay. Tonight, an oxymoron type game. From Wrigley Field in Chicago, it's the Montreal Expos and the Chicago Cubs. It'll be Bill Gullickson going for Montreal and Ferguson Jenkins going for Chicago. On a rainy 73-degree day here in the Windy City.
Play ball!
Why, hi there, I'm Ron Juckett. How you doing, Dave Gardner? Yes, you are first. You're deep with some... Ooh, Dave's working on some projects. It's good to have you along on this Wednesday night. The Montreal Expos are 40-20 in trying to prove to the baseball world that their split-season division title in 1981 is not a fluke. In fact, if the season ended today when we show you the standings, it would be a rematch of that 1981 National League Championship Series between the Montreal Expos and the Chicago Cubs. We told you that Steve Rogers is 12-1. On his 19th day of June, he is certain to be the starting pitcher for the National League when the All-Star game is in Montreal in a couple of weeks. The Cubs, well, they were supposed to lose 100 games. They're 33-32, so the blue is starting to fade off the rose just a little bit, but they've hung on a lot longer than you would think that they should. Can anyone catch Montreal? Oh, Philadelphia is within a shout, but right now, if Montreal keeps winning games at this pace, no one's going to catch them. How you doing, Dale? But Ferguson Jenkins is on the hill for the Cubs today, so you just never know. So sit back and enjoy. A rainy afternoon in Chicago should make for a good night here tonight. And as you can see, Ferguson Jenkins warming up. He is 5-8 on the year with an ERA of 4.06. In 95 innings, he's allowed 105 hits as he takes his 15th start of the year. The 1971 Cy Young Award winner last pitched against the Philadelphia Phillies on the 14th, so 5 days ago. He went 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 1 and struck out 4. So he's allowed 48 runs and 43 of them earned. Walked 29 and struck out 54. But this is what you want to see, and right now, it is all Montreal. They have a 4.5 game lead over the Phillies, a 7.5 game over the Pirates, a 9 game lead over St. Louis. In fact, Charlie Lindo hit the Cardinals on Wednesday. Chicago now 9.5 back. Made this a couple weeks ago, not the game itself, but made the trip a couple weeks ago planned, and the Cubs have pretty much faded right out of it. and the Mets are in combat painter support territory at 21-41. In the West, the Dodgers, I told you, it's pretty much over. They're 9.5 above the Braves. San Francisco 2.5 back with that. Cincinnati kind of a surprise, and San Diego was open for 1984. In the East, since we talked to you, the Tigers have a 2-game lead over Baltimore and a 5-game lead over Toronto. But since Toronto left California, they've won 2 straight. In the West, California has lost 2 to the White Sox. You'll see that game tomorrow afternoon between the Angels and the White Sox. So again, why is Montreal in first place? Well, they have a run differential of 109. That's the best in all of baseball. They're 17-11 on the road, and they're 18-7 against the National League East. That'll do it. If they have an Achilles heel, they're 5-8 one-run games. But you keep winning, you're not going to get caught. And that .667 winning percentage is the best in all of baseball. How you doing, Todd and Bobby? Good to have you along. So the lineup that Ferguson Jenkins will face, Timmy Raines is in left field, his natural position. He's leading off. Gates, I don't remember him as the second baseman. He'll bat second. He has no batting average. I bet it's his first game of the year. Andre Dawson will hit third and play center. Al Oliver will clean up at first. Gary Carter, who had a big home run in the first inning yesterday, will bat fifth. Warren Cromartie, the right fielder, will hit sixth. Tim Wallach will bat seventh and play third. Frank Tavares, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And Bill Gullickson, who pitched the last time we had the Expos on, will bat ninth as the pitcher. Hopefully he'll last longer than an inning and a half. Defensively for the Cubs, Steve Henderson is a 6 in left. Leon Durham is a 3 and a 9 in center. Jay Johnstone, the funny dude, a 6 and 9 in right. Ryan Sandberg is at third. He's a 5. Larry Boa, a 7 at short. Bump Wills, a 5 at second. Bill Buckner, a 7 at first. And Jody Davis behind the plate, a 5 and a 6. And his baseball demo says Montreal was a really good team in 1982, just as good as the Cardinals. They got some bad breaks. Well, right now, the spread between Montreal and St. Louis is 9 games. Lane's a threat to bunt, and we will oblige. Timmy at 269, 3 homers and 29 RBI. He has 30 stolen bases. And this one starts with a ground ball to Wills over the Buckner. Yep, Sandberg at third. Mike Gates. We got his picture, but we don't have Jeff Zahn, who might win the American League Cy Young. Imagine that. Mike is 0 for 4 on the year with an RBI. In the real season, 231 with 8 RBI. Did not hit a home run. Jenkins delivers, and there's a ground ball up the middle. Wills by the bag at second over to Buckner for the second out. So winds are a light 4 from right to left. A light rain here in 73. Andre Dawson at 331, 13 homers and 47 RBI. Having a magnificent year, and if the Expos are to cruise on to win the National League East, he's got to keep doing it. Jenkins delivers. Got him! Outside corner, off-speed pitch, not what he was after. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1/2 of 1 inning. Montreal nothing, here come the Cubs. And Bill Gullickson, 5 and 5 on the year, 2.77 ERA. 91 innings, 82 hits allowed. This will be start number 14 for Bill. He's a fastball pitcher. 89 miles an hour is about what he averages. His last start came in St. Louis on the 14th. Forget that start on the 9th. That's the last time we had the Expos on. 7 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 earned. He walked 4 and struck out 2, but he took the loss, so he's lost his last 2 starts. So as I said, 91 innings, 82 hits, 7 home runs, 41 runs total, only 28 earned. That's what you get for having Timmy Raines at second. 20 walks and 63 strikeouts. The lineup that he will face this afternoon. Bump Wills will bat first and play second. Ryan Sandberg hits second. Billy Buckner will hit third. Leon Durham, the center fielder, before he goes to first, will bat fourth. Jay Johnstone will bat fifth, which just shows you just how bad the Cubs were. Joni Davis will hit sixth today. Steve Henderson in left will go seventh. Larry Bowa, the shortstop, eighth, and Ferguson Jenkins, who threw 15 pitches, will go ninth. For the Expos defensively, Raines a 4-4 in left. Dawson and Woolworth player 10-5 in center. Warren Cromartie a 7-9 in right. Wallach a 7 at third. Tavares in for Chris Spire. He's a 3 at short. Gates a 5 at second. That's probably better than anything that they have. And Al Oliver at DH really is a 6 at first. Gary Connor at 10 and a 7. And that brings us up to date. Bump Wills at 263. 2 homers and 17 RBI. He has 22 steals on the year. And he hits that one to Oliver, and Oliver will eat that one for lunch. So Bump is on with an error. He hit off the heel of Oliver's glove. And that'll bring up Ryan Sandberg at 242, a homer and 15 RBI. Gullicks and Reddies, here we go. Fly ball to right, Cromartie, 1 out. Dave Gardner's got his VCR ready. Why is Nesson replaying the greatest Bruins fights of the 70s or something like that? Oddly enough, the Expos were 46-35 on the road and only 40-41 at home, Baseball Demo says. They're tearing it up at home this year. And just going to prove that Blue Monday really didn't matter to them. They've come out like a house of fire. Then again, the Dodgers pretty much have the West in tow, unless they pull the Red Sox. Buckner at 342, 5 homers and 41 RBI. Gullickson's pitch, got him. 0-2 pitch, strike 3 called. And so that fastball gets in there for strike 3. 2 out for Leon Durham. At 316, 14 homers and 43 RBI. They did not like the Big O. Most people didn't. Oh my God, it was a terrible stadium. I think I've told you that story before. If not, I probably won't tell it tonight because the Expos are certainly not making their last appearance here in this replay. Pitch from Gullickson. Fly ball to left center. Back goes Raines. He'll make the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no hit. 1 error. Doesn't hurt after 1. Montreal nothing. Chicago nothing. But you're right. That was just terrible. Here's Al Oliver, who was anything but terrible. 348, 7 homers, and 36 RBI. I think I can show you this. I can now. Look, you don't call up this screen very often. It gives away the lead in tomorrow's game. Shh. But look who leads the majors in batting, and it's Montreal at 276. And you look who leads the majors in pitching. Montreal at 288. That's why they have a 4.5 game lead and a 40-20 record. Oh, Yuki wasn't that bad. The worst thing they had was their food. Except for the beer. I bet the beer was good. Pitch to Oliver. And there's a base hit up the middle, and the Expos have a runner on through the start of the second. There's Gary Carter at 342, 10 homers and 44 RBI. He hit 1 first. To give Dave Gardner a bunch of grief because he's a Bruins fan and I'm a Canadiens fan. But I will give the Canadiens full credit for this. When the Expos moved to Washington, the Canadiens adopted Yuki as their mascot. So he's still the mascot in Montreal, which is probably the only nice thing that Habs did for the Expos the entire time they coexisted. Pitch to Carter from Jenkins. It's a base hit into left center. Oliver will hold it second. Henderson picks it up. He misjudged that one a little bit, and there's now 2 on and nobody out for Warren Cromartie at 285, 5 homers and 34 RBI. Yep. And Oliver did hit everywhere he played pucks. And in baseball demos, to Anthony, I think, to top that game was actually played on a Monday afternoon. And the Dodgers, of course, were wearing blue. Got their jerseys, but got your colors. I told you Cromartie's numbers. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Wills. This should be 2. Boa for 1. Over to Buckner. I don't think so. I think Cromartie beat him. He did. So runners in the corners and 1 out for Timmy Wallach. He's at 259, 11 homers and 44 RBI. So if you haven't checked it out, friends of the channel, if you're a member of Facebook, look up Handmade by Bobby and see what Bobby Catalano has made for you to look at. And a border F3, yeah. Here's Wallach. Pitch from Jenkins. Cromartie goes. Throw to first is... Oh, that's a foul ball. He got a piece of it. So the count is 0-1. So Cromartie was going. And now Jenkins will spin to first. And Cromartie's back safely, but that probably was the wrong move. 0-1 the count. Wallach, ground ball, base hit left side. Oliver will score. Cromartie holds second, and Wallach is on first, and the Expos draw first blood. 1-0 here in the second. Here's Frank Tavares, who was a shell of his former self. 150 with an RBI. And yes, Bobby is quite talented with the craft. Bobby, you can put the link in. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Tavares, ground ball to Boa. And Boa's only play is to first. Tavares still has wheels, but Buckner got him on the back. And there's 2 out for Bill Gullickson. He's hitting 086 with 2 RBI. And Todd B mentioned there's 3 Expo Hall of Famers in the lineup. And they're hitting first, third, and fifth. Raines, Dawson, and Carter. And Oliver at 2,700 hits and a 300 career batting average. I think, in my mind, is a little bit more than borderline. He just didn't get a lot of attention. He played for Texas, played for Montreal when they didn't make the playoffs, a long time in Pittsburgh. And so, yeah, you could certainly make the argument that Oliver is worthy. 2 out. Hall of Famer Jenkins delivers, and there's a ground ball up the middle. Boa from his knees by the bag over to Buckner, and that retires the side. Expos get a run on 3 hits and no errors. After 1.5, Montreal 1, the Cubs 0. Anytime, Bobby. Todd, I flunked in art class too. Oh, and Anthony's right. You know, Oliver was completely overshadowed by Parker and Sargent. But doesn't make him any less worthy. Jay Johnstone's worthy of a Budweiser. He's at 205 with 2 solo shots, 2 homers, and 2 RBI. 1-0 Expos here, bottom of the second. The pitch. Ground ball to Wallach, over to Oliver for the first out. You know, Dave Gardner's been awfully quiet since the postponement. He's probably turning me into some 4th line winger with that fights all the time. Here's Jody Davis. Jody at 248, 5 homers and 16 RBI. And if you haven't clicked on Bobby's link, you should. Pitch to Jody, got him. He looked at a 3-2 pitch on the inside corner, and there's 2 out, and Gullickson has struck out 2. Brings up Steve Henderson, 238, 2 homers, and 18 RBI. You're new to that, Robbie? You look... Wow. You're good. John Stone and Tom Wimpy Pachorik were indeed 2 pranksters. In fact, I believe I made the Budweiser comment. I think it's what? His 85 Fleer card has him with a Budweiser hat umbrella or something like that. And they got away with it. They didn't even have to take it off. A product primarily for kids. The baseball cards, not the beer. It's to Anderson. Fly ball to shallow right. Camardi comes in and makes the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. Side in order after 2. Montreal 1, Chicago nothing. And so Fergie Jenkins, through 9 batters, has faced 9 batters, 31 pitches, 2 innings, 3 hits, and a strikeout. And again, the run was earned. And again, they'll play for the bunt for Raines. Oliver played for the Phillies. That's right. He was on that wasn't he on the Weeds Kids in '83? Someone will tell me if he was or not. And yes, the worst baseball card is it? No. Those Don Mossy cards are worse than the '60s. But the Billy Ripken one with the pronoun and the noun scribbled on the back. Fleer was just terrible at quality control anyway. Pitch from Jenkins. Popped up. Davis goes to the screen, and that's out of play. 0-2 the count. Raines is 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, he lost it. That's not what you want. And so Raines on first for Mike Gates, who's 0 for 1. For Marty, Mr. X. Yep. Here's the pitch. There goes Raines. It's a number down to Buckner. He takes it to the bag himself. So with the hit and run, Raines goes to second. Buckner's only play was to first. And there's 1 out for Andre Dawson, who struck out his first time up. 84. Okay. So it really was the real Weeds Kids. Talked about the Fleer cards. They also have, what was it, 89 or 90? They had the Randy Johnson card. And I think it was 89. I think it was the same year as the Bill Ripken. And of course, Johnson took the picture in San Francisco. He was with, I believe, it was Seattle at that point. Montreal. In fact, he's in Montreal. And of course, they had in San Francisco, when the old candlestick scoreboard had the big old Marlboro billboard, and there was some exception taken to that, and they tried to black it out. Yeah. Pitch to Dawson, who's 0 for 1. Fly ball to left. Henderson is there for the out. Raines will go to third. The throw in is in time. So Raines got aggressive on the base paths, and the throw from Henderson was good. And so it's a double play. How about that? No runs, no runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5, it's Montreal 1, Chicago nothing. Yep, Jim Fanning managed the Expos in '82. Larry Bowa is at 298 with 35 RBI. He's already had more RBI in this replay than he did in real life. Pitch from Gullickson. Here's a chopper down to Oliver. And he gets on his knees and transfers it over to Gullickson for the out. So we put Oliver's defense, and he said, "Fight me there, fat boy." And so there's 1 out for Ferguson Jenkins, who is 1 for 34 on the year. And those kind of stats are kind of like at the end of Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus's career, when you'd see him golfing and they would just stop posting what they were shooting. Pitch to Fergie, struck him out. 0-2 fastball on the inside corner, check swing, he went, and there's 2 gone. So through 9 batters, Gullickson has thrown 41 pitches, 2 2/3 innings, and 3 strikeouts. That appears to be a whole bunch of bagels. Here's Bump Wills is 0 for 1. Oh, was that in the old Municipal Stadium? Oh, you don't? Well, you should never make the third out on base. Is a real Cardinal rule. Yeah, okay. That's me. You know what I'm talking about, though. Should have been the Expos rule too, not just the Cardinal rule. All right, bump is 0 for 1. 2 out, bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. Got him. He swung on. Oh no, he looked at strike 3. 1-2 pitch with strike 3 called. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 3. Montreal 1. Chicago nothing. And so here's Al Oliver. Al has singled and scored his first time up. The lone Expo run. How you doing, Phantomatic? Phantomatic opened up some basketball cards on his channel today. Go take a look at that. Pitch to Oliver. Ground ball to Wills over the Buckner, and there's 1 out. Brings up Gary Carter, who singled his first time up. Jenkins, at the end of his career here, of course, pitched what came up with the Phillies, had some great years with the Cubs, spent a couple years in Boston, then Texas, then back for one last hurrah here in Chicago. Pitch to Carter, ball 4, so Gary draws a walk. 3-1 pitch was high, and Warren Cromartie's 0 for 1. Mr. Expo, Mr. Japanese Baseball. Oh, Todd B bought a Trevor Bauer rookie card. And no, I don't think people would be, Bobby. Not at all. Yep, and Baseball Demo says they used to put them in their spokes of their bicycle tires. Or in Clinton's case, his Model T, but he's not watching anyway. Cromartie's 0 for 1, and there's a pop-up. Davis takes off the mask. He goes to the screen, and he makes the catch against the screen. So a nice play by Jody, and there's 2 out. Timmy Wallach singled home Oliver in the second. He's 1 for 1. Carter on first, 2 out, top the 4th. Here's the pitch. Little chopper down to Boa on the grass over to Buckner, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. It's still a light rain here at Wrigley after 3.5. Montreal 1, Chicago nothing. So tomorrow we'll have a baseball game for you at noon. The Angels and the White Sox from California. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to say 8:30-ish. I'll double check with my guest. The Ron Juckett Show is back, and Devin, the original Grognard, OG, will be with me for an hour and a half or so of fun merriment, and we're going to talk some war games. So join Devin, the original Grognard, tomorrow at 8:30 or 8:15-ish on the Retro Sports Network. Here's Rhino. Rhino's 0 for 1. Wallach and Oliver playing for the bunt. No. Here's the pitch. Chopper down to Wallach. Has to hurry over to Oliver, and they got him. So 1 out. Oliver actually had to dig that one out and kept his foot on the bag. Ever since I mentioned Oliver's defense, he keeps shooting me dirty looks. Bill Buckner struck out his first time up. 1 of the 4 that Gullickson has. 1 out, bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch. Right back to Gullickson. Over to Oliver, 2 out. You see the Jesus. Let's see. Clinton rode the bike with the front wheels about 10 feet tall, and the back wheel was like a tricycle. Who did the Phil send the Cubs with Bo, and who did they receive? Oh, yeah, De Jesus. Yep. So Dale, with a trivia question that you guys are getting right. Leon Durham is 0 for 1. Gullickson's pitch. Fly ball, shallow center. Dawson comes in, and that retires aside. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4, Montreal 1, Chicago nothing. I saw Ryan Sandberg play for the Reading Phillies, as a matter of fact, during the 81 strike. Went to visit family in Connecticut, and Waterbury had the Reds as their the Eastern League team, and Ryan Sandberg was with Philadelphia, I believe, still. Frank Tavares is 0 for 1. I need a drink in a sec. We'll throw the pitch. Right back to Fergie. That was a Fergie-licious play over to Buckner for the out. So 1 out for Gullickson, and Bill is 0 for 1. And yep, Ryan Sandberg's managerial career with the Phillies will be spoken with the same hushed reserve. We don't talk about that tones as Charles Barkley's gambling debts in the annals of Philadelphia sports history. Jenkins delivers, and there's a ground ball to Boa over to Buckner, and there's 2 out. Jenkins is throwing a pretty good game. Yeah, the thing with good players, and Sandberg, a legitimate first ballot Hall of Famer. Here's Timmy Raines. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. So through 18 batters, Jenkins at 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 58 pitches. He's pitched well. Walked 2 and struck out 1. And I'll finish the story after the Raines at bat. Here's the pitch, and that's foul back. The Raines actually went to drop one down. Timmy was thrown out at third, trying to advance on an out his last time up. 0-2 the count. Pitch, ground ball to Wills, over to Buckner, and that retires the side. Clean inning for Ferguson. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home. Wow, Montreal 1, Chicago nothing. What was the best Phil's trade? They've actually been very good at growing their own talent. I don't know, you got Roy Halladay. That was a pretty good trade. Didn't you win a World Series with him? Anyway, to get back to Sandberg, it'll be Johnstone, Davis, and Henderson, by the way, for Chicago here in a bit. When you are an exceptional player, and there's just no question that Sandberg is one of the best second basemen of all time, you expect players to play and understand at your level the game. And it just doesn't happen. I mean, when you're a once-in-a-generational player, we talked about Sandberg before, you could rank him right there with Frank White and Lee Whittaker as best second baseman of the 80s. I'd put Sandberg on the top of it personally, but you're going to get disappointed and burn out rather quick. It's why most baseball managers are of the Sparky Anderson, Tony La Russa ilk, career minor leaguers that get into coaching and just want to teach and stay in the game. Pitch to Johnstone is ball 4. So that's the first walk allowed by Gullickson. Expos have made an error, too. So here's Jody Davis. He struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. And Jody hits this one into center. Dawson goes back to make the catch. Still raining, by the way. Not hard enough to bother anybody. It's pretty still. Wind is blowing out, if you will, at 1 mile an hour, which would be about the speed that you could wheel one of those 10-foot tall front wheel bikes. Steve Henderson's 0 for 1. Yeah, Ted Williams was an awful manager, too. It's addicting. Lots of ex-Phillies in this game. Pitch to Henderson. There's a ground ball to Oliver, to Tavares for 1, back to first. And not in time, so Henderson will reach on the fielder's choice. And there's 2 out for Boa, who was 0 for 1. Noticing a trend yet? So Gullickson's ready. And the pitch. And there's a chopper down to Oliver, takes it to the bag himself. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 5. It's bagel time in Chicago. Montreal 1, the Cubs nothing. And Anthony just kind of takes that can of cheese whiz and rubs it in the wounds of Philadelphia fans everywhere. Sandberg at second, Boa at short, Rose at first, and Schmidt at third. Yeah, I don't think they would have lost to the Orioles in 5 games. There's Mike Gates. He's batting on his own this time, 0 for 2. Pitch from Jenkins. Ground ball to Boa. Over to Buckner for the out. Here's on to Dawson. Dawson struck out. He's 0 for 2. Pitch from Fergie. Fly ball to left. Back goes Henderson in the corner, and he makes the catch. Not a lot of foul room. He made that in Bartman territory, and there's 2 out. And now I'll bring up the talked about Al Oliver. Al has scored the lone run of the game. It's 1 for 2. Yeah, you know, I make the tiddlywinks jokes once in a while, Todd, and people go, what? My mother told me Jack's was a girls' game, but I didn't realize it was. Of course, I could handle things in my mouth and I would have choked on the blessed thing. I bet my mother would pay good money to take that back. Pitch to Oliver, and there's a base hit in the right center field. Johnstone picks it up on a hop, and there's 2 out for Carter, who has walked and singled. He's 1 for 1. That's true. Dempsey played out of his mind in the 83 World Series, winning MVP, and the Louise kids were out of gas. I bet you can still sell them. I bet you looked online for them, Bobby, to find them. I mean, that team was old. Charlie Hudson was the one that bailed them out in the championship series against the Dodgers. Here's the pitch to Carter, and that's a fly ball to center. Back goes Durham, and he makes the catch. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 5.5 in the books. Fergie Jenkins at the plate. Montreal 1, Chicago nothing. Amazon sells everything. Will they sell me a clue, Todd? Fergie's 0 for 1. He struck out. Pitch from Gullickson. Ground ball to Gates over to Oliver for the out. And Anthony reminds us of our day and age, and you could probably look for an app on your iPhone if you look for it. Will this beat some Cup team beat the 17 Cup team? No. No, this team in real life lost 100 games. I'm actually stunned that through 65 they are right at 500. As Bump Will steps in 1 out in the 6th, he is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Through 18 batters, Bill Gullickson's line is 5 1/3 innings, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. There you go. How you doing, ID? We could use a Tiddlywinks tournament in the Friends of the Channel. Gullickson delivers, and Wills hits a high fly ball to right. Cromartie at the track makes the catch. 2 out. Now, Montreal has already had a major event this week, as there's 2 outs in the 6th. Here's Ryan Sandberg. They're 0 for 2. Got him, and the throw down got away from Carter. The throw down to first is in time. So swung on and missed. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6, Montreal. Chicago's got some bagels. It'll be Cromartie, Wallach, and Tavares here in the 7th. Fergie Jenkins has pitched himself a ballgame, but he doesn't have any run support. Cromartie's 0 for 2. Right back to Jenkins over to Buckner for the out. And 89's an intriguing season for anything, because as you say, Anthony, the Orioles were the major bounce back team. The Red Sox were decent. Toronto was explosive, but then they changed stadiums halfway through the year when Skydome opened. You got the Giants in the West, probably, I don't want to say the best A's team of that bunch. I think 90 was better. I think that's what made the Reds winning that World Series better, or more of an upset. The Mets still kind of hanging on, and the Cubs in the playoffs. Timmy Wallach is 1 for 2. He's got a single and an RBI. That's the lone RBI of the game. 1-0 Expos. 1 out, top of 7. Jenkins pitch, and there's a little chopper down to Sandberg at third. Quick throw to Buckner, and Buckner couldn't get it. It's in the dirt. Buckner made the hockey stop, so Wallach gets charged with the save, and Sandberg gets charged with the air. So 1 out for Tavares. That's only the 4th hit of the ball game for anybody. 1 out, top the 7th. 1-0 Montreal. Pitch from Jenkins. There goes Wallach, and it's a line drive to left field. Tavares is going to get 2. Easy, and so there's 2 on in scoring position and 1 out with the pitcher up. Gullickson is 0 for 2. Cubs are playing for the bunt. They're playing for the squeeze. Jenkins delivers, got him, struck him out, and 0-2 pitch in the air at the belt, and that's not what he wanted. 2 out for Tim Raines. A marble tournament. Yep, Todd B is looking at the scoreboard. You caught it, you get a cookie. Yep, heaven must be missing an angel. I won't sing it. I played marbles as a kid. But Timmy's 0 for 2 with a walk. Ferguson Jenkins, through 27 batters, has thrown 87 pitches over 6 2/3 innings. He's pitched a great game, 5 hits, 1 run, but he's in trouble here in the 7th. He's walked 2 and struck out 2. Here we go. Ground ball to first. Buckner to the bag, and Montreal will strand 2. Stretch time as Tavares sings "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." No runs, 1 hit, 1 error. 6.5 in the books. It's Montreal 1, Chicago 0. And we've all lost our marbles. So here's Bill Buckner. He struck out. He's one of the 5 for Gullickson on the day. And there now is a nervousness here that you didn't see about 20 minutes ago. Pitch to Buckner, popped up, left side, Wallach into foul territory, 1 out. And just like Jane, things are getting serious now. Here's Durham, he's 0 for 2. Gullickson, it's only 80 pitches in. Here we go, and there it goes. A base hit in the left, and there goes the no-hitter. So Bill Gullickson took a no-hitter 1 out deep into the 7th inning. Imagine that, because Charlie Lee no-hit, speaking of I.D. Jesser, no-hit the Cardinals on Wednesday. I wonder if a team's ever had 2 no-hitters in a week. So there goes the no-hitter, and here's Jay Johnstone. He walked in his 0 for 1. They had gloves back in that season. Apparently Dave, when he played goalie, didn't wear a mask. At least that's right. Pitch to Johnstone, popped up right side. Oliver goes into foul territory, and there's 2 out. So Gullickson has thrown an absolute gem. So is Ferguson Jenkins. Here's Jody Davis. He struck out. He's 1 for 2. He's 0 for 2. Steve Henderson on deck. Gullickson delivers, and Jody slams this one into left. Raines in the corner to make the catch. No runs. The no-hitter goes. No errors. After 7, Montreal 1. Chicago 0. Yep, Johnny Vandermeer did it in the same week because it was a 4-man rotation. Kenny Castro, how are you? So Fergie gets the fatigue warning here as we start the 8th. Mike Gates, Andre Dawson, and Al Oliver. Montreal with the win would go to 41-20, and currently a 5-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Pitch to Gates is 0 for 3. He chops one down to Sandberg. Long throw across to Buckner for the out. Andre Dawson is 0 for 3. Struck out once. Jenkins delivers. Fly ball to center. Back goes Durham, 2 out. So here's Al Oliver, 2 for 3. Scored the lone run of the game. This one has been a cardiac special pitcher's duel. Pitch to Oliver. Chopper down to Boa. Throws to Buckner, and that's the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the 8th here in Chicago. Montreal 1, the Cubs nothing. That's true. I.E. gestured he's using inside pitch to 89. You're doing 89, right? We're down to the final 12 games in this Bo Jackson season-long replay for the Kansas City Royals. And so, yeah, good for you. It takes a lot of dedication to get through a single-team replay. It's 162 games. I'll tell you, Henderson was 0 for 2. I think I did. Yeah, 89. And I'm with Anthony. Anytime Duke loses, I'm happy. Pitch to Henderson. Got him! So a 2-2 count, swung on and missed, and Gullickson gets his 6th of the game. Here's Bowie, he's 0 for 2. Nope, Duke is not a person. Well, John Wayne was Duke, but we don't wish ill on John Wayne. He's dead. But we didn't wish it on him when he was alive either. Here's Boa. Ground ball to Oliver. Takes it to the bag himself, and there's 2 out. So don't forget, tomorrow at lunchtime, it is the White Sox and the Angels from Anaheim Stadium in California. That's at noon. And between 8 and 8:30, sometime along there, the Ron Juckett Show. And my special guest will be the original Grot Guard, Devin. Joins us for chat. That's tomorrow night on Retro Sports Network. Here's Fergie Jenkins. Man, do I pull him? He's throwing such a good game. I'm going to leave him in. He's 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Pitch from Gullickson, and Fergie strikes out. So no runs, no hits, no errors. Jenkins starts the 9th. We played 8. Montreal 1, Chicago nothing. So it'll be Gary Kiner, Warren Cromartie, and Tim Wallach. Kiner is 1 for 2. He is singled and walked. 1-0 Expos, top of the 9th. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So Kiner sprints to first. 3-1 pitch was down and away for Cromartie. He's 0 for 3. So we'll let Jenkins pitch to Cromartie, and then we'll probably go to the 5th. Davis goes out to chat with Jenkins. Here's the pitch. And there's a base hit in the right center field. Carter will hold at second. Lee Illia will come out to get Ferguson Jenkins. We got ourselves a pitching change. This game is coming to you from Wrigley Field in Chicago. And so, I can't use Lee Smith because he's now a starter. Yes, he's a starter. So, Mike Crawley, P-R-O-L-Y, comes in. 3.12 ERA. He has no record. 8 2/3 innings. This will be appearance number 5 for him. Cubs got him 11 days ago. 8 2/3 innings, 8 hits, including a home run. He pitched the Thursday game here. And wow, in fact, this is his 5th appearance of the year, and 4 have been against Montreal. Last time out was Thursday, 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, a run that was earned. Walked 2 and struck out none. He has not struck out anybody yet. 4 runs, 3 earned, and walked 3. So 2 on, nobody out for Wallach, who is 1 for 3. Tim has a single in the game's low in RBI. Crawley's first pitch, fly ball, left center. Back goes Durham, and he makes the catch for the out. You know, don't steal my line, my intro line for tomorrow, Anthony. Don't steal it. So here's Frank Tavares is 1 for 3. Frank has a double of all things. Gullickson on deck. I can't imagine they'd yank him throwing a 1-hitter. Pitch. Tavares puts that one in the center field, and the bases are loaded. And so now what do? You got a guy going out there firing bullets. Gullickson is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And he's going to stay in and chop that one to Crawley. They're going to go for 2. They're going to go. No, they're going to go for the one of the. Oh, what do we do? They're going to try for the Out the plate, the throw to Davis, and Carter is safe. He's safe. They went for the one they needed at the plate, and he beat it out. So nobody's out. Bases are still loaded. Cromartie at third, Tavares at second, and Gullickson at first. And an 85% chance of getting Carter at the plate, but he beat the tag. And now I'll bring up Timmy Raines, who's 0 for 3 with a walk. Crawley delivers. Got him! He looked at strike 3, and here's probably where you would use a pinch hitter. Mike Yates is 0 for 4. You've talked about where you're from before in chat, Ken. Oh, yes, I do. I've done that the entire game, and now you wait till the 9th inning to say something. Oh, pitch to Gates, popped up. He's not going to pinch hit for him. Surprise. Davis goes back to the screen and makes the catch. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and I can't remember anybody's name. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's Montreal 2, Chicago 1, or nothing. So Bill Gullickson sitting on a 1-hitter through 27 batters. Bump Wills is 0 for 3. Gullickson 103 pitches, 8 innings. The 1 hit, he has walked 1 and struck out 7. And there's a ground ball to Gates over to Oliver, and Wills is the first out. That's true, Ken. You're not as old as some others. I think you have mentioned it in one of the chats. Here's Ryan Sandberg. Rhino is 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, left center. Back goes Raines, and there's 2 out. The band Tavares was removed, I think. Okay. So last chance saloon here. Billy Buckner, he's 0 for 3. Gullickson working on a 1-hitter. And here's the pitch, and there's a ground ball to Oliver. Over to Gullickson, and Montreal will win this on a 1-hitter by Bill Gullickson. 2-0 the final score. All right, so baseball demos. Yeah, so do I. I've got that in 2 years. So the final score, Montreal 2, Chicago 0, and the summary here is going to be pretty quick. The runs came 1 in the second. Tim Wallach singled to score Oliver to make it 1-0. And then Bill Gullickson hit a ground ball that, with the bases loaded, they threw to get Carter, and Carter just beat the tag. So 2 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Montreal, and the Cubs just had 1 hit and 1 error. That is just amazing stuff. So Jenkins takes the loss. 8 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. He pitched so well. He goes to 5-9 on the year. Bill Gullickson throws the 1-hitter. 9 innings, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. He threw 118 pitches, and his stuff was plus. And so unlike when we had him against the Cardinals and chased him, you're welcome, ID. Who got the hit? It was came with 1 out in the 7th, Leon Durham. A legit single. And Gary Carter went 1 for 2 with 2 walks. All right, gang. Well, there you go. A 1-hitter by Bill Gullickson. And as I said, Montreal is on a serious roll right now. 41-20 will not play the rest of the day because we've reached the Saturday part. And so the Saturday game tomorrow at lunchtime will be Chicago, the White Sox. There. Baseball Demos Project 5 years later. See, I do remember, kind of. And the California Angels. And then tomorrow night, 8:30, the Ron Chuckett Show with Devin, the original Grognard, the OG. And so thank you so much for spending part of your Wednesday night with me. I greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button and subscribe. And so, for Retro Sports Network, as they argue what part of New York, Western Massachusetts is in. See, I grew up in southern Vermont. And I was always asked what part of New York that was in, too. So don't feel bad, Bobby. We're together on this. I'm Ron Chuckett. For Retro Sports Network, hit that like and subscribe. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow.